Hello again, gang. Just wanted to show you a video on how to do your homework. These are your 4 assigned homework problems. So I was just going to go through, and you can use this as a guide when you're doing it. You can pause me or whatnot as you're going through it. But the first 2 problems have separate instructions. It says for each pair of similar polygons, find the area of the shaded figure. So I'm always looking for this area here that's shaded. In this instance, it's the big shape. So just like before, you were still going to need a side ratio and an area ratio. So I can get the side ratio with the sides they give me, which are 11 to 44. Again, I can reduce that by going down to 1 to 4. So if I use that as my side ratio, 1 to 4, again, I can square that to get my area ratio. So 1 squared is 1, 4 squared is 16. So that's going to be the ratio of the areas, and that's what you're going to use in the proportion. So 1 over 16 is equal to, I'm given the smaller area, so it needs to go on top. I'm looking for the larger area, so I'm going to put that on the bottom. So now I cross multiply. 1 times x is just x. 16 times 20. 16 times 20. Oops, calculator turned off. 16 times 20. That's equal to 320. So that is the area I'm looking for. 320 meters squared. So let's take a look at the second one. The second one now, I need a side ratio and an area ratio. Well, the side ratio would be 8.5 to 2. Again, I got to reduce that on my calculator again. So 8.5 divided by 2, math, enter, and that goes down to 17 to 4. So 17 to 4 is the side ratio. Remember, now I need to find the area ratio, so I need to square those numbers. So 17 squared, I'm going to have to use my calculator on that. 17 squared is 289. So the 4, I square that and I get 16. So that's my area ratio. That's what I'm going to use in the proportion. 289 over 16 is going to equal then, the one area that I do know is the larger one. It needs to go on top. I'm looking for the smaller one, which would go on the bottom. So cross multiply 289x is equal to 16 times 34, whatever that is. 16 times 34, 544. And then I need to divide 544 by 289. So divided by 289, and that is 1.9. And that's the missing area there. And that's inches squared. Good, so let's take a look at these. So that's those 2. You were looking for areas. Down here you're going to be looking for side measurements. It says for each pair of similar solids, use the given areas to find the scale factor from the unshaded to the shaded, then find the value of x. So again, I'm still hunting for my side ratio and my area ratio. Area ratio I can get because I have the areas. So I would do 50 over 72 and reduce it. So let's see, 50 over 72, math, enter. And that is 25 over 36. So that is my area ratio, 25 out of 36. So now to get the side ratio, I have to go and square root these numbers now. So I have to square root that 25, which is 5. And then the area, I square root the 36, and that's 6. Now I have my side ratio. This is the one I'm now going to use in the proportion. Since I'm looking for a side, I use the side ratio. The smaller one is the x. It goes on top of the larger one, 8. So now when I cross multiply, I end up with 6x equaling 40. So that means x goes into, or 6 goes into 40, 6.7 times, which is that missing side over there. All right, lastly, on number 4, again, I'm missing a side. I still need a side ratio and an area ratio. I can get the area one because I have the areas. They're going to be 70 to 30. That's going to go down to 7 to 3. So that is my area ratio. So now the ratio of the sides, I have to square root those. Those aren't perfect squares. So let's see here. The square root of 7. Square root. To do that, you go second square root 7. It's that. 2.6. And then the square root of 3. That is 1.7. So I'm looking for a side, so I need to use this side ratio. It's ugly, but I'm going to use it. 2.6 to 1.7. And then that's going to equal the bigger one, I don't know, over the smaller one, 7. So now I'm going to cross multiply this. 1.7x equals 2.6 times 7. 18.2. And then I can divide the 1.7 into that. And that's 10.7. Which is that missing side. That one was harder because over here you'll notice that I had these perfect squares. So when I square rooted it, I got these nice clean numbers. These aren't perfect squares, so I ended up with these ugly numbers in that ratio, and I had to use those ugly numbers in a proportion. So just be aware that that happens sometimes. So see what you can do on this. Check your answers against mine. All right, and then turn those in, scan them in somehow, and turn them into me. All right, thank you very much.